On today's episode, we're going to touch a very, very sensitive nerve. Don't judge people before you get to know them. I think it's safe to say that at one or other stage in our lives, we've already had a preconceived idea of what a person is about. Sometimes they get to prove you right. Most times they get to prove you wrong if you really get to know those people. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing 7 tactics that you should use to make sure that you block that urge of judgment before you get to know someone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to give you my favorite one at the end. Thank you very much, and let's get into it. Thinking is difficult. That's why our minds automatically go and lean towards judging someone. The first couple of minutes that you meet, or first couple of seconds in fact, that you meet someone, you already have a preconceived idea of who they are, what they're about, and that's where it stops. However, you need to take time. You need to give yourself the opportunity to understand, have a little bit of compassion, ask questions, especially with people that you don't like. First off, in that meeting, you're like, this is not somebody I'd really hang out with. But that's when you need to understand that I'm already being judgmental. I can't form a long-lasting relationship only with people that I like, because they'll never push me to grow. They'll never challenge my best. They'll never challenge my opinion. And that's a comfort zone that nobody wants to be in. So next time you meet someone, remember that quote. Don't judge a book by its cover. Allow them the opportunity by asking questions to find out more about that person and get into their mind and have a look at their point of view from a lens which they're wearing, not necessarily that you're wearing. Opposing opinions will always meet in the middle and the truth will come out. So, these next 7 steps that we're going to share with you is basically to aid you and guide you to break the defense mechanism that you've built up within yourself over the past how many ever years you've been alive, through experiences and through meeting tons of people, preconceived points of view on how they are, who they are, what they should be, and what they're about. So use these 7 wisely and make sure that you get the benefit of not judging people until you finally understand where they come from and know at least a little bit more about their personalities. Let's get into the first one. Number 1, lack of information. Before you have all the data, before you have all the facts, be reserved in your judgment of a person. Whether it's a person that comes in, we interviewed a big bodybuilder, Jaco de Bruin. I was very nervous. How is his energy going to be? Is he going to be an aggressive person? Is he going to be someone that's overpowering? I reserved my opinion because I didn't have information. I just saw him on photos. The moment he walked in, he was a gentle giant. He was such a calm, soft-spoken person. His personality was actually contagious. Everybody fell in love with him, even though he had the arms like this. So lack of information, lack of data already, I'm teaching you this, but I fall victim to it every day, already had that appearance of this big human being that's going to be ultra aggressive, and it proved me wrong. He was a soft-spoken, very calm, gentle giant. Number 2, projection. Seeing your darkness in others. What does that mean? Sometimes when you judge somebody by that person being too extroverted, too loud, too out there, perhaps you're seeing the darkness of your own personality within that person, and it bothers you. Don't be a judge until you go and figure out what is it exactly about that person that switches on my button, that ticks me off. Is it perhaps not something that I'm dealing with and I'm having to suppress or keep in check that I see within that person, and perhaps that's why I'm judging too early. Number 3, each person is different from the other. You can never expect, even if you meet twin sisters, for the one sister to be exactly the same as the other sister. Through life experiences, through movies, music, the way you were parented, how many times you fell off your bicycle, you develop in a different way. Embrace it. A brother and a sister might be total opposites. I'm a very outspoken person. I'm a person that don't mind big crowds, where my sister will tend to be more analytical. She wants to have a look at data. She wants to be on her own, communicate with very few people, even though we had the same upbringing. Number 4, do unto others as you wish others to be done unto you. So before you judge somebody, make sure that you are in the headspace of, if that person is reversing the role that I'm playing now, how would I feel for that person to think X, Y, Z of me? Would it be fair before they got to know me, or wouldn't it be fair? Make sure that you do that before you pass judgment on to other people. Number 5, acceptance and tolerance. Live and let live. Sometimes when something happens, it hurts you, might be intentional, might not be intentional. You have to live and let live. Forgiveness, because you want that other person to show the same amount of compassion when you step in the wrong. And trust me, we all do. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not intentional. Acceptance and forgiveness is very important. Number 6, appearances are often deceptive. Now, we had an opportunity to interview a gentleman by the name of Tace Ace. He's the #1 tattoo artist in the country. Myself, I don't have any tattoos. It's not something that appeals to me. I don't mind people with tattoos, but it's not me. It's not who I am. It's not who my parents are. We didn't grow up in a household where that was, normal. Nobody around me growing up had lots of tattoos. This gentleman walks in, he is covered, even his head. So, initially I'm a business guy. We run a business channel. I don't know if I'm going to be able to relate to this person, because I already have a prejudgment of how he's going to be when he speaks to me. Is he going to be able to keep up with me, the questions? Are we going to have a conversation? And man, oh man, was I definitely proven wrong once again. He is so analytical, so well thought, so well put together in the way that he runs his company, in the way that he runs his bookings, his business, the 9 people that help him tattoo. I was very pleasantly surprised. So again, appearances can be deceptive. Don't judge a book by its cover. Number 7, you actually define yourself. Earl Nightingale said, when you judge others, you do not define them, but you define yourself. So how do you want to be known? Do you want to be known by a person that judges and is judgmental all the time? Or would you like to be known and remembered as a person that gave each and everybody equal opportunity and equal rights to exchange value and to get to know each other before we pass judgment on them, because it's a reflection on us? I want to give you a short story before we finish and wrap up this video. A 24-year-old boy is traveling in a train with his father. And the boy, filled with excitement, says to his father, Dad, look here. The trees are moving forward as the train moves. 2-3 minutes later, he says, Dad, look here. The clouds are moving forward as the train moves. An elderly couple next to them looks very confused. And they are very uncertain about the boy's behavior, because he's very childish, yes, yet he's a man of 24 years old. And they say to the boy's father, why don't you take him to a very good doctor? And the father says, I did take him to a very good doctor. I took him to the best doctor. My son was born blind, and today is the first time that he can actually see. He's got his new eyes. So I'm very blessed, I'm very lucky. We're coming from a very good doctor. So there we go. They already passed judgment onto the boy before they actually knew what situation they were sitting in. I hope this video helps you. I hope it adds value into your life, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Take care and have a beautiful day. Bye-bye, everybody.